Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Ryan again with another HM1 in 2021. I'm learning more how to use this screen capture software, so I'm going to focus more so you can see what I'm looking at for the instructions that are unclassified. And this way you'll be able to look at the notes I make as well as just looking at what I'm talking about. If you guys rather see my face instead, let me know, but I'm excited to check out this new software, and let's get into it. So today we are looking at OPNAV instruction 5100.23G, which is all about safety stuff. It is a really big instruction. It's like 500 pages long. There you go. You can see right there, this on the PDF reader is 455 pages. However, the only part you really need to know is chapter 10, because that's all that's on your bib. So when you're looking at really big manuals like the ManMed, the PrevMed one, stuff like that, really pay attention to see what chapters the bibs say, because you don't have to read the whole thing cover to cover, because this chapter 10 is only like 5 or 6 pages, I think maybe a little bit more. This one's pretty simple though. There's not a lot to it, but there's a couple timelines that I think may be important. So employee reports of unsafe, unhealthful working conditions. So if your exam asks, hey, what is chapter 10 of OPNAV instruction 5100.23 golf? You'll know employee reports of unsafe and unhealthful working conditions. One thing I noticed that this instruction is actually outdated as of a couple months ago. However, always go off of exactly what's in the bib, even if there's a newer revision. The bib is what your test is based off of. So maybe next cycle it'll be updated to the hotel. But until it is, just study the old one. That's what's going to be on the test. No need to nuke it by checking out the new one. Just stick with what you know. So as you see here, the chapter provides guidance on establishing a channel of communication for supervisory personnel responsible for safety and health matters. So basically it's all about how to report stuff, who do you report stuff, and how does that process work. Let's see, that's kind of the obvious stuff at the top. Hazard reporting, immediately report unsafe or unhealthful working conditions. I like to think that that is pretty obvious. If an area is unsafe, I need to tell someone immediately. I need to tell my supervisor, and it is the supervisor shall contact the activity occupational safety office. So your boss is the one that contacts safety. And then any Navy employee can submit an unsafe working condition. I'm going to break down all the forms at the end of this video, but OPNAV form 5100/11 is the unhealthy working condition form. There's a copy at the end of this instruction, so we'll take a look at it. 5100 is the instruction, so just think OPNAV form 5100/11. I just think of the 1 after the 5100 twice. So 5100/11 is that report. Commands are supposed to have blank copies anywhere that's convenient. And employees may make an oral email report directly to the safety office instead of a written, or to the safety office instead of a written report. In that manner, the safety office will then transcribe that info. So it seems to me, if at all possible, just send them a written report because they have to type it up anyways. The safety office is the main POC for the unsafe condition stuff. The safety office has copies of all of the hazardous reports, which is going to have the date, time, identifying reference number, location, brief description, hazard classification, date, nature of action taken. Which, in my opinion, all that stuff is pretty obvious stuff. So what day was the incident? What time was the incident? Reference number, that makes me think of IT ticket stuff. Where is it? What is it? How would you classify it? And what action has already happened? The safety office will shall investigate all reports brought to its attention. So if it's something immediately dangerous, so imminently dangerous, 24 hours. Which if it's imminently dangerous, it should be seen probably a lot quicker than 24 hours. But 24 is what they put. Also potentially serious within 3 days. So not like a giant oh no, but a little oh no. And anything else within 10 working days. Notice how any other is the only one that specifies working days. Imminent danger says 24 hours. Potentially serious says 3 days. But it does specify for other situations within 10 working days. So I think that's an important distinction. there needs to be a interim response to the originator within 10 days of receipt. So the interim response is basically the, hey man, we're working on it. Whatever goes in that. And if no hazards found, they have to justify, hey, this doesn't work. Additionally, the originator can follow through if they're not satisfied. So if they don't think that it met their needs, they can continue to bring that up the chain, and they can also appeal that. And a hazard is different than a grievance. Grievance really isn't in the scope of this, so I'm not 100% sure for safety stuff what a grievance means, but that's not covered in this instruction, so let's not worry about that. But do know that a grievance is separate from hazard reporting. They're two different things. We're only focused on hazard reporting in this instruction. Appeals. So you can take it one step up like anything else in the military. An appeal needs to have the following. So a description of the alleged hazard, which makes sense. So what is this report about? The information, so the W is about when the report or the hazardous report was submitted, what were taken, and why they don't think that is a satisfactory approach, which to me it seems like common sense. So what was the issue? Who did we file it to? What did they do about it? And why am I not satisfied with that fix? So in my opinion, that's pretty common sense stuff. And then the next higher up of the chain needs to respond within 10 working days. So 10 working days, 10 working days, 10 working days as it keeps going up the chain. And then if they haven't received a response or they're still dissatisfied within 20 working days, or if they're either dissatisfied or have not received a response within 20 working days, they can appeal it to the next higher level of command. So again, it goes up the chain. It has a little routing here. So echelon 4, which is your CO, echelon 3 is region, echelon 2 I think is BUMID, because I think echelon 1 is CNO. This specifies CNO safety, or CNO, and then Deputy Assistant Secretary of the Navy, and then their other assistant under the safety defense stuff. So it goes pretty high up, just one person at a time. However, the final appeal authority is the Deputy under the Secretary of Defense. But what I think is really interesting, because again, civilians work a little bit different. They're not like us enlisted. Civilians have that right to contact OSHA pretty much directly, or the OSHA equivalent, the U.S. Not OSHA, it's something different. The Office of Federal Agency Safety Programs, which is the U.S. Department of Labor. So civilians can just go straight up to the Department of Labor. They don't have to mess with the chain of command. And actually, no, let me back up. So it says if a civilian is not satisfied with the response from the Deputy Undersecretary of Defense, then they contact. So they still got to go through the channels, but if they're not satisfied, then go directly to U.S. Department of Labor. There we go. And now reports to OSHA. This is where I got confused. So if you look right there, civilians can at any time report directly to OSHA. So it looks like I had the two confused between Department of Labor and OSHA. So Navy civilians may at any time submit complaints to OSHA. It says Navy civilians do not have to exhaust a chain of appeal, so they can go directly there. However, it does say the Secretary of Labor encourages people to do that in-house. So they say, yeah, you probably should do the in-house, but you do not have to. Here's the responsibilities for people in the instruction. So the big bosses, so regional activity commanders, COs, OICs, they need to publicize the existence of a employee hazard reporting program. So I need to make sure all the personnel know this is how you report hazards. Here's our second form of the instruction, the DD-272 DoD Occupational Safety and Health Protection Program. To me, how this DD form sticks out is, to my knowledge, it's the only form we have to study that has program in it. So DD-2272 DoD Occupational Safety and Health Protection Program. So that's one of two forms noted in this instruction. See, it says that they're supposed to maintain anonymity for people that make a report. They need to make sure that oral reports are made as quickly and efficiently as possible. They need to make sure that hazard and procedures are followed. And personnel shall file a grievance procedure. So if there's reprisal, that goes under grievance, not under this program. See, here's an appendix, and this is what that first instruction. So the OPNAV 5100/11 is the Navy Employee Report of Unsafe or Unhealthful Working Condition. Pretty simple form. So mailing address, where's the spot, phone number, is it immediately threatened, because again that triggers the 24 hours. Briefly describe the hazard. Let's see. And then I don't really understand some of these questions, but I don't need to. I just need to know what's on there. And that's it for chapter 11. I'm going to use my little draw tool and point out some of the big ones that I saw. So actually, let's use the text box for that one. So we got our OPNAV. 5100/11. Let's get the exact name. I know it's the reporting form. It is the Navy Employee Report of Unsafe. Let's see if I can copy and paste that over there. If we're learning new software. So that's that one. Then there's the DD2272, which let me get the exact terminology. But that one is basically the report form. There we go. Or that's the program itself. Let's use our Control-C. Boom. So those are the two major forms of the instruction. So keep note of that. So the OPNAV form 5100/11 is the Navy Employee Report of Unsafe or Unhealthful Working Condition. Think about it by the instruction is 5100.23G, 5100/11. So 5100/11, 5100.23. DD2272 is a DoD Occupational Safety and Health Protection Program. And then we also have some timelines. So let's break that one down, because this is kind of, in my opinion, the big stuff that the exam would probably ask you. So imminently dangerous, 24-hour report. Potential. Let's get the exact verbiage, because I'm going to make this little summary sheet. Let's see, where was that at? Of course, when you try to find something, it doesn't come through. No, let's see. There we go. Potentially serious situation. So potentially serious situation. So potentially serious situation. 72 hours. Actually, let's keep it with exactly how the instruction says it. 3 days. Other, 10 working days. So again, working days. And that's really it for this instruction. I don't think there's too much to it. For me, it's weird how this one falls under PrevMed, but if you look at your subtopics, it does specify that occupational stuff falls under PrevMed for the studying. So as I told you guys many times, my big focus for this cycle is supply and PrevMed, and I'm probably going to stick with PrevMed for the next few weeks just to really hammer it home. And just so we can get the exact name of the instruction, even though we're only on chapter 10, let's go up to the title page. So the official instruction for 5100.23 Golf is Navy Safety and Occupational Health Program Manual. So think about that for a second. So if occupational health was one of the subtopics for PrevMed, and this manual straight up says occupational health, probably important to read it. It's only a few questions, or only a few pages, but it specifically is outlined in the bib to know Occ Health. They're not your bib, but the subtopics. So again, 5100.23 Gulf, Navy Safety and Occupational Health Program Manual. Let's go back to chapter 10. Here we go. Wow, look at that. So chapter 10 is employee reports of unsafe, unhealthful working conditions, which I think that's super important to know because, like, as leaders, in my opinion, I could do a million leadership things right. I can put all my guys up. I can get everyone promoted. But if the one thing I mess up is making sure my guys are safe, in my opinion, nothing else matters. Safety is more important to me than any other leadership thing because I can do everything for my guys, but if they're not safe, what's the point of anything else? Like, safety is paramount. So from that perspective, I could see how this would be really important for HM1s to know, because how can my guys report something if it can cause harm to them? All right, thank you for watching this video. Please let me know if you prefer this or staring at my face for a half hour. I'm kind of new to all this techno stuff, so I'm slowly upgrading my skills. So please let me know what you guys prefer. I think for me, this probably works a little bit better because I can look at instructions, I can point stuff out, and when I watch the video again, I can scroll through and I don't have to have the bib up in front of me because it is on my screen. But all right, have a good night. I hope you enjoyed this.